Hey everyone, welcome back to American Success Stories, CEO Podcast, the podcast where we pull back the curtain on the titans of industry, dissecting their journeys and learning a thing or two along the way. I'm your host, your storytelling specialist, and your friendly guide through the wild world of American business. Today we're diving into a story unlike any other. It's a story of audacious ambition, incredible highs, crushing lows, and a brand that, against all odds, became synonymous with, well, a nation. Before we jump in, though, do me a favor. If you love these deep dives, if you're hooked on the tales of how people build empires from nothing, or sometimes from something, hit that subscribe button. Seriously, it helps us keep these stories coming. We've got some incredible episodes lined up, and you won't want to miss a single one. All right now, let me ask you something. What do you get when you mix a New York real estate developer, a reality TV show, and the most powerful office in the world? You get a phenomenon, a brand, and a legacy that has fundamentally reshaped our understanding of business, politics, and personal branding. Today we're talking about Donald J. Trump. Can you imagine building a business empire so inextricably linked to your personal name that when you become President of the United States, your hotels, golf courses, and even your steaks suddenly carry the weight of global diplomacy? I mean, seriously, think about that for a second. The White House and the Trump brand, two entities that on paper seem diametrically opposed, yet they became intertwined in a way no one could have predicted. It's a story of unprecedented access, unimaginable scrutiny, and a brand that somehow, through it all, continues to adapt, evolve, and generate headlines. Stick with me because this isn't just about politics. It's about power, perception, and the sheer audacity of one man's vision. And trust me, you're gonna want to hear every twist and turn. In the outer boroughs of New York City, young Donald grew up in a mansion in Jamaica Estates, a comfortable, stable upbringing, but one that was undeniably shaped by his father's relentless work ethic and a certain pragmatism when it came to business. Fred Trump was a grinder. He built apartment buildings, he managed properties, and he taught his son the ropes of the construction and real estate world. Donald, even as a kid, showed an interest in the family business. You know, he wasn't out there chasing butterflies. He was observing, learning, absorbing. He went to the New York Military Academy, which, probably instilled a certain discipline and a directness that would define his public persona. After that, he went to the Wharton School of Finance at the University of Pennsylvania, a top-tier business school which certainly sharpened his financial acumen. By 1968, he was working for his father's company. And in 1971, at just 25 years old, he officially took the reins, renaming it the Trump Organization. This wasn't just a change of name, though. This was a statement. This was a young man saying, "I'm not just my father's son. I'm building my own legacy." He wasn't content to stay in Queens. His gaze was fixed on the bright lights of Manhattan. That's where the real money, the real power, the real glamour was. And that, my friends, is where the story really takes off. Now, don't let anyone tell you it was all smooth sailing. Even with a leg up from his father, Donald Trump faced his share of brutal challenges. His early ventures in Manhattan were bold, no doubt, but they weren't without immense risk and some pretty serious headwinds. Think about his first major Manhattan deal, the Grand Hyatt Hotel. He saw potential in the old, decaying Commodore Hotel right next to Grand Central. It was a huge undertaking, requiring complex negotiations with the city, with the Penn Central Railroad, and a whole lot of financing. People scoffed. They said it couldn't be done. The city was on the verge of bankruptcy. New York was seen as a dying metropolis in the 70s. Crime was rampant. It wasn't the sparkling beacon of today. He had to convince a lot of skeptical people that this was a viable project. That's a struggle in itself, right? Getting people to believe in your vision when the world around you is screaming impossible. Then came the 80s, the era of the art of the deal, and the construction of Trump Tower. This was his signature, you know? The skyscraper that would bear his name in gold letters, a monument to his ambition. But even then, he faced legal battles, public outcry over demolition of historic buildings, and the sheer complexity of building a massive, luxury mixed-use tower in the heart of Midtown Manhattan. These weren't just construction challenges. These were political, social, and financial tightropes he had to walk. And then the 90s hit, and they hit hard. This was perhaps his biggest struggle. The real estate market crashed. His Atlantic City casinos, which he had poured billions into, faced immense pressure. We're talking about multiple business bankruptcies, serious, capital B bankruptcies. Trump Plaza, Trump Castle, the Taj Mahal. These ventures, which were supposed to solidify his empire, nearly brought it crashing down. He was hundreds of millions of dollars in debt, personally guaranteeing loans. There were times when he was reportedly worth less than nothing. Can you imagine that? From a self-proclaimed billionaire to being underwater? It's a humbling, terrifying prospect. He had to fight tooth and nail with banks, renegotiate debts, sell off assets. It was a true test of his resilience, his negotiating skills, and his sheer will to survive. Many thought he was finished, done, a relic of the excess of the 80s. But that, my friends, leads us to the turning point. So how does someone come back from being millions, if not billions, in debt? How do you not just survive, but thrive, and then some? For Donald Trump, the turning point wasn't a single, dramatic moment, but a series of smart, perhaps even brilliant, decisions that reshaped his entire trajectory. First, he became a master of debt restructuring. He convinced banks that he was more valuable alive, so to speak, than dead. That his brand, even in its weakened state, still had value. He leveraged his persona, his relentless optimism, and his willingness to fight to get favorable terms. It was a high-stakes poker game, and he played it to win. But the real transformative turning point, the one that elevated him beyond just a real estate developer, was his pivot to branding and media. This was the genius move. While he continued to dabble in real estate, he understood that his name, the Trump name, was a valuable asset in itself. He started licensing his brand to hotels, to golf courses, to products like steaks, vodka, even bottled water. It was a way to generate revenue without tying up massive amounts of capital in brick and mortar. He became a brand ambassador for himself. And then, of course, came The Apprentice. Oh man, that show. From 2004 to 2015, The Apprentice, and later Celebrity Apprentice, wasn't just a TV show. It was a weekly masterclass in personal branding, a platform that presented Donald Trump as the ultimate arbiter of business success, the savvy dealmaker, the guy who said, "You're fired," and everyone loved it. This wasn't just entertainment. It was a rebranding effort on a scale that few business people could ever dream of. It made him a household name. Not just in New York real estate circles, but across America, across the world. Suddenly, Trump wasn't just a building. It was a larger-than-life personality, a symbol of aggressive capitalism and aspirational wealth. That show, that pivot to media, that was the game changer. It laid the groundwork for everything that came next. All right, so he bounced back. He built the brand. But what is the Trump business empire today? It's a lot more complex than just buildings. At its core, the Trump Organization is a privately held conglomerate, a sprawling network of hundreds of entities. We're talking real estate development, property management, hospitality, golf courses, commercial leasing, and tons of merchandising. His main sources of wealth today still largely stem from his real estate portfolio. Iconic properties like Trump Tower in New York, the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas, his golf clubs across the US and internationally, like Trump Turnberry in Scotland. These are the tangible assets, the things you can see and touch. He also owns properties like Mar-a-Lago in Florida, which isn't just a private residence, but also a highly profitable private club. But what makes his empire truly unique, especially post-presidency, is the power of the Trump brand itself. It's a brand that has transcended traditional business. After leaving office, there's been a strategic pivot. While real estate remains central, we've seen a significant push into media and digital engagement. Think about Trump Media and Technology Group, which owns Truth Social. This isn't just about social media. It's about creating an ecosystem, a platform, a direct line to his supporters, and a new revenue stream in the digital age. And here's a surprising fact. While his real estate and traditional business ventures still form the bedrock, his involvement in, believe it or not, cryptocurrency has reportedly become a significant and rapidly growing part of his wealth. I mean, who would have thought, right? The real estate mogul from Queens diving into digital currencies. It just goes to show you, the man knows how to spot an opportunity. Or at least he's got people who do. His brand isn't just about luxury towers anymore. It's about media, political influence, and even cutting-edge financial tech. It's diversified, it's controversial, and it's undeniably unique. Now, you can't talk about Donald Trump's journey to wealth and success without addressing the elephant in the room, or perhaps the whole herd of elephants. Controversies and criticisms have been as much a part of his story as gilded skyscrapers. From the very beginning of his career, there were legal battles. In the 1970s, he faced a Justice Department lawsuit alleging racial discrimination in his father's rental properties. Later, there were numerous lawsuits from contractors, business partners, and even tenants. He's known for his litigious nature, often using lawsuits as a negotiating tactic. The Atlantic City bankruptcies in the 90s, as we touched on, were a massive financial and reputational blow. While he spun them as successful restructurings, critics point to the fact that bondholders and investors often took massive losses. Then there was Trump University, a real estate seminar program that faced multiple lawsuits and allegations of fraud, ultimately leading to a multi-million-dollar settlement. This was a major black eye for the brand, and for him personally. And of course, his presidency opened a whole new Pandora's box of scrutiny. The Emoluments Clause, allegations of conflicts of interest as foreign governments and special interest groups patronized his hotels and properties. Critics argued that the presidency was being used to enhance his private business, blurring the lines between public service and personal profit in an unprecedented way. Recent legal battles, including those related to the valuation of his assets and tax practices, have brought his financial dealings under an intense public microscope. The numbers, the valuations, the loans, everything has been dissected. It's a constant dance between the undeniable success of the brand and the relentless legal and public challenges. And whether you love him or can't stand him, you have to admit, it's a story unlike any other in American business. It's a reminder that immense success often comes hand in hand with immense scrutiny, especially when you step into the political arena. So what can we, as aspiring entrepreneurs, business leaders, or just folks trying to navigate our own careers, learn from this wild, incredible journey? There are actually quite a few powerful takeaways, even if you don't agree with every one of his tactics. First, and this is a big one, the power of branding. More than almost anyone else, Donald Trump understood that his name was the product. He built a personal brand so strong, so instantly recognizable that it transcended industries. It's a testament to the idea that in today's world, your personal brand, your reputation, your story, can be your most valuable asset. Second, resilience and relentlessness. I mean, the man faced multiple bankruptcies, massive debt, and public ridicule. Most people would have thrown in the towel. He didn't. He fought back, he renegotiated, he pivoted. That kind of sheer, unadulterated grit is a powerful lesson. You're gonna face setbacks, Are you going to let them define you, or are you going to find a way back? Third, leveraging media and self-promotion. Before social media, before the 24/7 news cycle, Trump was a master of using television, newspapers, and even controversy to stay in the public eye. He understood that visibility equals opportunity. Now, you don't have to be on The Apprentice or run for president, but understanding how to tell your story, how to get attention for your business in a crowded market, that's critical. Fourth, the art of the deal reimagined. Whether you agree with his methods or not, his negotiation style is legendary. He's a maximalist, he's aggressive, and he's not afraid to walk away. It's a reminder that in business, you have to be clear on your value, be willing to stand firm, and sometimes play a little hardball. Finally, and this is a more complex one, it's about understanding and connecting with your audience. Regardless of how you feel about his political career, he demonstrated an undeniable ability to connect with a segment of the population in a way few others could. In business, understanding your customer, truly understanding their desires, their pain points, their aspirations, that's gold. He tapped into something profound. It's a story that proves success isn't always linear. It's often messy, and it's almost always accompanied by immense challenges. But through it all, the Trump brand has persisted, evolved, and reshaped the landscape. So as we wrap up today's incredible journey into the world of Donald J. Trump and his business empire, I want to leave you with this thought. When the lines between business, celebrity, and political power become so blurred, what does it mean for the future of success? What does it mean for the brand? And how does a legacy, once defined by towering buildings, now stand intertwined with the very fabric of American governance? It's a question that will continue to unfold, I think, for generations. Thank you for joining me on American Success Stories. I hope you found this deep dive as fascinating as I did. We'll be back every single day with new episodes, right here at 7 p.m. Eastern, bringing you more incredible journeys to wealth and success. Until then, keep dreaming big, keep building, and keep your eyes open. You never know where the next surprising fact or breakthrough moment might come from.